Hello folks, welcome briefly back to the Urban Rider Studio for something a bit different today. So we've had some new helmets arrive to us, and I say new actually, they're returning, but the newest version of them. It's the HEDON Hedonist and the HEDON Heroine. Now we thought with the arrival of these helmets, it would be a good time to explain the process of what goes into making a helmet as luxurious as these. We got invited to the HEDON workshop to meet members of the team, to see how these helmets are made, and actually to sit down with one of the co-founders, Reg, as well, to pick his brains. Enjoy. Yeah, don't bring that to Rider, otherwise you'll beat everyone in the exhaust competition and we just can't have that. It sounds great.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I mean, even though we're in a confined space, it doesn't actually sound too loud.
No, it sounds good, but it's not too loud, you know, It's not like outrageous. Still enough to, you know, wake up the neighbors early in the morning.
So the first thing, could you introduce yourself? If you just say your name and your role.
So, my name is Reginald Flint, and I'm the co-founder and managing director of HEDON.
What made you want to start the company?
I was working in the helmet industry. I was doing R&D and operations for a helmet brand. And I always had at the back of my mind that one day I wanted to do something different, something with my own stamp on it. But, you know, I'm not a designer myself. So eventually I met Lindsay. We wanted to do a refined product, something that's made to last with a low profile. And we would pay attention to the aspects of the helmets which we thought were a bit neglected, you know. So the helmets are safe, built to last, but with a beautiful design. And obviously design is always at the core of values.
Because it's such a simple design, I think there's maybe a misconception that might be easier to design, but I'm assuming that it's probably even harder.
Definitely agree. The busier the helmet, the easier it is actually. And in fact, the night white, for example, perfectly white helmet, it's one of the hardest things to do. It really is, because to get the white shell free of any defects, any little dots or anything, it's a challenge. Really.
Sure.
This is Igor, and so Igor works on the shell prepping, so he preps the shell before painting, and he also does all the polishing in between the different layers. You know, we get the shells from the supplier primed, and although it does look smooth, it's not really smooth, so it needs to be prepped before painting, because if it's not perfect, after you paint, the defects will come through. So it's a very important step. For example, this one, you can feel here the different layers of paint, and it needs to be sanded smooth, and then it will go back to being glossed and then sand it again.
How long does it take roughly to make a helmet start to finish?
First of all, it depends on the helmet. The more colors we have, you know, the more cycles we have to do. So that will need to be glossed, sanded, glossed again, and we'll have to go, you know, several times in the paint booth. So it can take several days, but it depends on the helmet. So Christian was working for a company making or painting luxury cars, vintage cars, but then he's been painting helmets as well on the side as a passion.
That makes sense.
Bikes on my room when I was young. My mother was going to kill me.
In your room?
My idea was to try to avoid all the dust and everything that can get stuck in the paint outside. But yeah, when she realized what I did, she was not very happy, but yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
For now, like 20 years.
20 years?
20 years, yeah.
Are there any complications that someone might not anticipate in making such a low profile or slim helmet?
So the challenge really is to find the right proportion so that the helmet is, you know, low profile, light, but also safe. It's also a cost, so you need to design multiple shell sizes and EPS sizes. Because if you make a big EPS cavity and then fill it up with, you know, a lot of foam, it might feel comfortable, but then, you know, it might not be safe because the helmet might rotate backwards or forwards, and then when you fall, your head will not hit in the correct place. And that's why a helmet are quite tight, because, you know, a safe helmet should fit tightly on your head.
Of course.
So I'm Kira, I'm head of craft and production. This is Sarah, and we deal with masking, as you can see Sarah doing, so like the designs. We do leather trimming, which I'm about to show you, and then we also do metallic leafing. These come in sheets, and then they're just very fragile, so we've got to be careful when we apply them, sort of any gust of wind and they'll be blowing around. And then metallic python, this is one of our stock helmets. You've got to make sure that the scales are going a certain direction with this one.
And which one, when it lands on your desk, is the hardest where you get one?
I think masking-wise, the bumblebees are the worst.
Okay.
It's just because usually when you mask, you go off the edge of the helmet.
Yeah.
But with the bumblebee, it's a consistent ring. So you've got to make sure that the tapes don't overlap at all. But obviously touch-ups are always involved with everything, no matter how minor, but Yeah, so bumblebees are challenging.
Of the helmets that you sell, do you know which one is most popular?
The stable black, so that was, I would say, one of our first models, and it's remained popular over the years. So that's the classic head-on look, classic DJR look as well. For the full-face helmet, the most popular since pretty much the beginning is the signature black.
And you mentioned the DGR, just for those that aren't aware, could you briefly explain the DGR and your involvement in it?
So DGR, it stands for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. It's an organization that is raising awareness through different events, and mainly the annual rides for male suicides and prostate cancer. We've been supporting them for several years now. We are the global helmet partner. So every year we donate HEDON Helmets, and the top 100 fundraisers will get a custom HEDON helmet, which you cannot buy. In addition to that, if you join the HEDON team, you also have the chance to win a prize. So the top 3 fundraisers will be able to get a HEDON helmet. So it's something that we proudly support. I myself will be riding in London this year.
What's your bike?
I will ride on my Harley, which is sitting there in the workshop. So I'll probably ride that bike this year.
Great. Thank you for your time.
No, you're welcome. So I got this bike years ago. It was a rescue Sportster. Some guy chopped it up really badly. Initially we had to redo the seats, and then it used to be a black tank with some gold and copper leaf. And then over the years, Tom from Foundry Motorcycle in Chichester, he's helped me done quite a few bits. The air cleaner cover here, custom exhausts. We changed the suspension as well, and we did the chain conversion. So we put the tallest suspension we could find. And I've done a bit of, not off-road, but sort of green laning with it.
Sure.
Light green laning. I mean, we did the flat track school a couple of times. That was great fun. I'd love to do that again.
I'm going on Thursday, actually.
Really?
Yeah, is there anything I should know in advance? What would you recommend?
I don't know. I wish I'd done more leg presses before.
Okay.
My left leg was tight.
Don't look for brakes.
Yeah, forget about the front brake.